The program will begin shortly. Enjoy.
Klausotės savo smegenų eteryje. Programa prasidės netrukus. Mėgaukitės.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Your Brain on Air. I am your host, Ollie Vogt Larson, and I've always been confused about deviled eggs. What's so devilish? Maybe the paprika. Tuesday, October 21st, folks. Oh, it's a big shebang. The world is still a mess. What did you expect? I could get it all straightened out by today? Come on. Let's just hop into the news without any further delay. Folks, ceasefire violations, that's not what we want to hear. Killing civilians in fresh strikes. Palestinian officials document attacks all across Gaza and governates, pushing the death toll over 68,200 since the conflict's onset. Folks, I wish I could come at you with something to say good morning and feel good about it. You know what I mean? I want to feel good on a good morning, but that's just like this energy, guys. I'm sorry. The killing civilians, it's not what I want to hear. It's 9:30 a.m. I'm just kidding. It's like 10:01. It was 9:30 when I wrote this script on October 1st, 2025, and we're diving into a critical story unfolding in the Gaza Strip, where accusations of ceasefire violations by Israeli forces have sparked outrage and pushed the death toll to staggering heights. On October 19th, Israeli airstrikes and artillery fire rocketed all five Gazan governorates: Rafah, Khan Yunis, Deir al-Balah, Gaza City, and North Gaza, killing at least 42 to 44 Palestinian civilians, including 20 children. According to Gaza's health ministry and civil defense teams, Palestinian officials are calling it the 47th or 48th breach of the fragile U.S.-brokered ceasefire that began on October 10th, marking it as the most severe escalation since the truce was signed. The Gaza media office reports that the attacks have now pushed the Palestinian death toll since the conflict started on October 7th, 2023, past 68,200, with over 230 injured the last wave alone. All right, guys. All right, that's not what we want to hear. We don't want to hear that, right? Israel, listen. I think most people agree that we don't blame the Jews as a people when we're talking about Israel the state. We're talking about Israel the state. I understand that some anti-Semites are going to take this opportunity to go, the Jews, and listen. That's not the move here. Don't Ilhan Omar this. Do not, I don't think that's the move to instantly go, Josh Shapiro, everybody with these names, let's keep an eye out for them. I'm not saying there's a grand conspiracy. I'm saying we need to talk about Israel, about whether or not this country, the size of, New Jersey, very famously, in the Middle East, with no natural resources, offers really anything to us as a country. And honestly, I'm not too convinced. The Mossad, honestly, the only thing they do is kill our government officials. They don't give us any meaningful intelligence the way that Ted Cruz wants you to believe. Let's set the stage. The ceasefire hammered out by President Donald Trump during a small meeting in Egypt was meant to halt nearly 2 years of devastating war. It promised an immediate end to the fighting, a partial Israeli troop pullback to a so-called yellow line along Gaza's borders, and a major swap, Hamas releasing 20 living Israeli hostages and the remains of 28 deceased ones in exchange for Israel freeing 1,718 Palestinian detainees. The deal also guaranteed a surge in humanitarian aid, 600 trucks with daily food, fuel, and medical supplies, and set the stage for phased peace talks, with Hamas barred from governing Gaza under the U.S.-backed plan. That's right, because we're going to go in there and we're going to turn it into a big casino, like he says, which I'm absolutely in favor of. I think that if we want to give these people opportunity, what do we do for the Native Americans on our land? What do we do for the Indians? We let them work in casinos. See? I don't know. I love the American imperialist energy that we're bringing back. It's fun. Greenland is next. But the truce has been on a thin ice. Before October 19th, Gaza officials documented 47 Israeli violations, killing 38 Palestinians, including 11 family members in a bus attack in Gaza City's Veitoun area. Veitoun. These Middle Eastern names can be tougher for me. I promise I'll get better as I go. On October 17th, and wounding 143 others, Israel, meanwhile, accused Hamas of failing to retrieve all hostages' remains from the rubble and even executing 33 alleged collaborators internally. So what sparked the latest violence? Israel says Hamas militants attacked its troops in Rafah, southern Gaza, with RPGs, sniper fire, and anti-tank missiles, killing 2 soldiers, Major Yaniv Kula, 26, and Staff Sergeant Itai Yavetz. There you go. See, guys, these are really Jewy names. They're very... What's it called? The culture. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to say that I struggle to pronounce certain names, and I'm going to work on it. Yavetz. Itai Yavetz. The first IDF death since the ceasefire. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. By the way, his name is so easy for me because the guy's literally, he went to school in the United States. He is like an all-around American. This dude eats Whoppers. He went on the Nelk Boys to talk about how much he loves Whoppers. He's like, I like the Whopper. I don't like the what do you call it? The Big Mac. I think that's too much. And then he's like, you're moderated or whatever. You gotta follow the rules of YouTube. I thought that you could say anything on here. And it's like, what do you mean say anything on here? Say anything. John Cusack. He was at the rallies, the No Kings protest. First time he's been relevant since the 90s. Sorry, I'm getting old. Holy shit, not the 90s. It's 89 that movie came out. Holy shit. Say anything. John Cusack. If you are old, if you're not old, but if you're of a certain age, you probably remember him holding up a boombox and he had his moment. He hasn't been relevant since then, and that's exactly why he went out and did shit in Chicago that day. Was it even Chicago? He was like, an interviewer walked up to him and was like, what's the energy in Chicago? And he was like, fuck off, or whatever. He was like, got his little sassy energy. Let's pull up this clip of John Cusack, just because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I say anything's not my favorite. It's full of, what's it called? Here's a good way to put it. It is every movie from that era boiled down to its most basic elements, to the point where it has nothing interesting to say. And I'm sorry if you're a big fan of Say Anything. It was not my favorite, the one and only time I've seen it. I have credit, I'll give credit where credit is due. Gen X and Boomers have good taste in movies, in the sense where I love Dirty Dancing. That was a good one. Sure. Baby, what's his name? What's his name? Swayze. There you go. All right, let's look at this clip of this gentleman who has not been relevant since, I'm not lying to you, 1989. Let's listen to this.
What is the story of Chicago?
Go to hell.
Is that the message from Chicago?
He raises his eyebrows.
What's interesting is that
What's interesting?
You understand that all the labor rights around the world came from this town, this place.
The fuck are you talking about?
This place is going to be a fascist hub? No chance.
A fascist hub? No chance. No chance, guys. A fascist hub in Chicago? No chance. A hub for the mob? A hub for, actual crooks and shit like that? Absolutely. We welcome that scum to the earth. It's Chicago. It's our vibe. It's our city. You seen Shameless? Have you ever seen Shameless? That's what this town is. It's like, fuck off, man. We're not going to be an outpost for fucking fascism, dude. I'm fucking John Cusack. I haven't done anything since at least the late 90s. Not even the people whose parents talk about me think I'm cool anymore. Anyways. So, that's not fun. No one loves what's happening. John Cusack's getting out there. Let's get back to the actual news story. These included weapon storage, firing posts, and tunnel systems across Rafah, Khan Yunis, Berich, Nezorat, and Beit Lahai. A school sheltering displaced families in Nuzarat was hit, killing 4 and entire families were wiped out in central Gaza's Al-Zawadi and Barij areas. But here's the twist. U.S. officials privately told the media soldiers' deaths were caused by unexploded Israeli ordnance during bulldozing operations in Rafah, not Hamas fire, casting doubt on Israel's justification. The human cost is, I'm not even going to lie to you guys, it's gut-wrenching. Gaza's a civil defense says 18 died in Rafah and Khan Yunis, with artillery and tank fire adding to the carnage. It's if you guys ever seen the Suicide Squad, sure, I'll pull like a nice 2016 film. That scene where they're fighting all of the gross, like, they're like eye creatures, but not really eyes. They're just kind of goop monsters and whatever, and they're like trying to get to the witch lady. It's that level. Israel has never looked at itself as like, oh, we are purposefully going to target, like, what's it called? I was about to do a Freudian slip, target civilians. Yes, that's exactly what their mind was. We're going to target civilians. We're going to, listen, Say it right here with me right now. They had everybody get up on stage and they were like, Hamas embeds itself with civilians. What do you want us to do? Honestly, at that point, when they embed themselves in hospitals with families, what do you want us to do? I'd rather they just be honest. If they want America's support, I'd rather they just tell us that it's like, yeah, they're hiding among civilians. We got to blow them up. We got to blow up a children's hospital like they did not too long ago. Both sides are pointing fingers. By evening, October 19th, Israel's military said it was done striking and would renew enforcement of the ceasefire. Netanyahu's office insisted there is no intent to end the truce, but promised swift responses to violations. The IDF also confirmed recovering remains of 2 or more hostages overnight, bringing the total of 14 to 28 released. Hamas, meanwhile, said it found another hostage body, but it can only hand it over if Israel stops the attacks. On X, social media is ablaze with outrage, and users are sharing videos of rubble from the strikes, condemning Israel's actions and noting Hamas's internal purges. The UN and aid groups are calling for war crime investigations, citing disproportionate civilian harm, while Trump's team, including envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, rushed to Israel on October 20th to salvage a truce. President Trump insists the ceasefire holds, but Israel's far right, led by figures like Itamar Ben-Gvir, is pushing to resume full-scale war. His government, if you know nothing about the current war government in Israel, it is fully right-wing. That's how he won his last election, Benjamin. But it's been like this for the longest time. If you don't know this, they've been having this war go on for 70 years, guys. This ever since the Nakba, not the Nakba, the Nakba. I'm sorry, I get my Middle Eastern terms mixed up sometimes. The Nakba. Ever since the day where they purged Palestinian people from their homes and began expanding their territory, it hasn't stopped since then, and it will likely continue after this. Folks, we had a peace deal with Jared Kushner. This is mimicking back in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. This is mimicking the peace deals that he was forging in the Middle East. And ladies and gentlemen, if they can manage to get this done, you got to give them credit where credit is due. I gave Trump credit where credit is due last administration. When he was able to broker peace where no one else was able to, I said that was phenomenal work, and I think that if he continues to do things like that, then sure, that's great. I'm going to give him credit where credit is due. Let's go ahead to a clip from CBS News real quick.
U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner have been meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel this morning. The fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas came under serious threat over the weekend, with Israeli forces launching strikes over Gaza after it says Hamas militants killed 2 IDF soldiers. CBS News senior foreign correspondent Deborah Pata brings us up to speed on the situation from Jerusalem.
The skies over Gaza are quiet this morning after the ceasefire faced its gravest test yet, with Hamas and Israel accusing each other of violations. Both sides have now recommitted to the peace process, but over the weekend, war was back in Gaza. 45 Palestinians were killed, said local health officials, and 2 soldiers, say the IDF, as mediators race to get the ceasefire back on track. President Trump has insisted it was still in place and it would be handled toughly but properly, adding he didn't believe Hamas leadership was involved, but rather rebel groups. For Palestinian families that had come out to enjoy a quiet moment at a seaside cafe, their peace was shattered by an Israeli strike there, and the blood-soaked scenes they thought were a thing of the past had returned. Hospitals filled up once again with nearly 100 injured from multiple Israeli strikes. The IDF said they were thwarting ceasefire violations by Hamas and provided this footage they say shows armed Hamas fighters moving towards Israeli troops. But in central Gaza, it was a media center that was bombed, killing a cameraman and an engineer and injuring 3 others.
How did that cameraman pose a threat to the state of Israel? I'm deeply curious. I'm like, if he was Dan Schneider, I'm sorry, no, this is Middle East. Schneider, sure, that could work. If that was Dan Schneider and he was like making a Hamas propaganda, like that one Mickey Mouse show where it's like, we will take our homeland back by killing the Jewish scum. If he was doing products like that, absolutely, sure, I can understand how he was a threat to the Jewish people. Yeah, but just in general, guys, this is a powder keg. Listeners, with mutual accusations, stalled hostage exchanges, and aid flows choked, the ceasefire hangs by a thread. Experts warn it could unravel without stronger U.S. mediation. We'll keep you updated as the story develops. Stay tuned, please. Folks, I think it's time for an ad break. I know that was serious, but I think that we can lighten the mood a teensy little bit. You know what I mean? I don't want this whole episode to be doom and gloom, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break for our sponsorship, and then we'll hop right back into the fun, feely stuff. You know what I mean? Folks, winter is coming fast and the water is freezing up. Fishing season is moving to the ice, and before you know it, you're going to need a professional docker to come handle your lake outlet needs. That's why so many people trusted Lakeland Docking Service. That's right, for a flat fee of $30 for half an hour, you can have one of our docking professionals come out to your lake in as little as 24 hours from your first call. Our team is specially trained in all docking-related needs and is ready for any challenge that is thrown their way. From circumcision to micropenises, our team will ensure that your docking needs are met, no matter what you're working with. Have the docking procedure of a man fitting his foreskin over the head of your penis today. That's right, folks. If Grandpa needs help getting his dock pulled out, then tell him to call somewhere else. This is real docking. Don't wait. Use promo code YBOA for 50% off your first docking. That's code YBOA at lakelanddocking.com. All right, folks. I think we should just hop into our second story. Enough about Dave Portnoy's favorite stop up here. Go eat another pizza and talk about your mindless ball games, Davey. Barstool Sports, by the way, hasn't been funny in years. Millennials send it to you and you cringe. All right. Anyways, folks, we're bringing you a tragic story from Indonesia today where a massive explosion in Batam Island shipyard has claimed lives and left the community in shock. Just before dawn on October 15th, around 4 a.m. local time, a fireball erupted aboard the MT Federal II, a Malaysian-flagged tanker docked for routine maintenance at the PTASL shipyard in Tanjung Ukang, Batam, part of Indonesia's Riau Islands. This crude palm oil carrier, empty of its cargo, was undergoing welding repairs when a gas tank ignited, killing 10 workers instantly and injured 21 others. By October 16th, the death toll would climb to 11, and when one was critically injured, when one critically injured worker passed away in the ICU in Matianara Ania Hospital. 4 others remain in serious critical condition, battling severe burns in Singapore's specialized units. This isn't the first disaster for this ship or this shipyard. At the MT Federal II was at the same PTASL facility just 4 months ago in June when another fire killed 4 workers and injured 9 during similar repairs. Batam, a bustling hub just 12 miles from Singapore, is a go-to shipyard for maintenance across Southeast Asia, handling vessels and fueling Indonesia's massive palm oil industry, the world's largest, as a matter of fact. But the PTASL, owned by Singapore's ASL Marine Holdings, has a troubling track record with these sorts of things. Over 20 deaths in 4 major accidents in the past 2 years. According to local unions, workers and families have long complained about spotty safety training, lax oversight, and cutting corners to keep the costs low. So what happened? Early findings point to a deadly mistake. Flammable gas, likely left over from the tanker's palm oil cargo, wasn't fully cleared from the tank before welders started doing their work. The spark set off a blast, tearing through the deck, scattering debris into the water. Firefighters and police rescue teams all raced to the scene, battled the flames for over 2 hours, using divers' cranes to recover the victims. Some were thrown overboard by the force. Like, it was literally like out of a movie. You just see the bottom of the deck just go, and everybody flies off into the water. The 20 surviving injured suffered burns, broken bones, and smoke inhalation, overwhelmed by local hospitals. There we go. My own writing style is tough to read sometimes, I'm sorry. Investigators are digging in, and it's not looking good for the shipyard. Riau Islands Police, led by Chief Asep Safrund, suspect criminal negligence. No hot work permits were issued, and the gas detectors might have failed. The testing tank residues also tested positive for volatile vapors, questioning 22 witnesses, including supervisors. The Ministry of Manpower is also auditing PTASL, with results due soon. This is the second massive explosion in this same place where we've had within months, raising questions about why this place hasn't been looked at. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's because it's like Singapore is definitely an advancing country. I will not say that they have it all together yet. Not even America does. We have places that are not. You would be shocked by what let OSHA flies. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The fallout is heartbreaking. These workers, many sole providers from Batam's working class neighborhoods, leave behind grieving families, now fighting for fair compensation. The shipyard's offering about $6,500 per family plus medical costs, but unions are demanding more, accusing PTASL of underpaying workers for years. A small oil spill from busted lines has sparked a cleanup to protect local waters. Though the environmental toll is limited so far, economically this hits Batam's $2 billion ship repair industry, idling 500 workers and delaying dozens of vessels. Singapore's port business is now feeling the pinch too, with ASL's marine stock dropping about 5% after the news. The response has been swift and emotional. President Joko Widodo, I love these names so much, took to X, offering his condolences and ordering a nationwide safety overhaul for shipyards, vowing zero tolerance for negligence. Good response for him. On October 17th, unions marched outside PTASL, chanting safety first and demanding better gear and training. Clips of their protests went viral on X. Hashtag Batam explosion trended, with users posting smoke plume videos and slamming corporate greed. International headlines are calling this week for a wake-up call to the region's maritime industry. Right now, the shipyard's locked for forensics and might not be open until as early as November. This tragedy exposes the hidden risks of Indonesia's palm oil industry and shipping boom, where growth often outruns safety. We'll keep you posted once again as the investigation unfolds, people, but I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hop into today's rapid fire section. That's right, folks. If you don't already know, I picked 9 to 10 or 11 or so, whatever, of today's biggest headlines, and I tell you about them because I think that they're important to know, and that's my way of fitting them in. That's what we do. All right, global oil prices drop to 5 months lows amid supply glut fears and weakened demand. So if you're looking to get into the oil industry, I don't know, go buy a plot in Williston, North Dakota, and start drilling. I'm going to be honest, it might be the time. The planet has crossed its first major climate tipping point as warm water coral reefs suffer in irreversible die-offs. Folks, this is not great. This is coming from climate scientists telling us that we have crossed an area where it's like there's a level of no return, but we can still stop the worst from happening. It's not going to be full water world yet. That movie was dog shit, by the way, but that's fine. It's not going to be that. That's my point, and that's exactly what they're trying to tell us. If we can get our shit together, Miami will be probably going underwater, and I whatever. That's fine. I've never had the craving to go. I'm going to be honest with you. Sanae Takaichi, there you go. Sanae Takaichi becomes Japan's first female prime minister. Japanese stocks hit record highs. That's great. Reuters, they comport the two. They're just like, it has a female prime minister and their stock hits record highs. Good for them. That's wonderful. I mean, I'm genuinely confused. I'm starting to think all of these civilizations that have had democracy, much less, if you compare it, they've had it so much less time comparable to the United States, yet they've had female leaders first. I'm curious what that could mean. I'm curious what that could be. You never know. You know what I mean? That's just, it's curious. You look at all, I'm not trying to be like Gavin Newsom where he's like, you bring up AIPAC and how much they donate to me, and that's just curious. I'm not dog whistling where I'm like, oh, America's sexist. That's not what I think. I don't think that America's sexist. I don't think that America's majority sexist because, by the way, the majority of people who live in this country are female. If you look up the statistics, the latest count was 51.2% of this country was female. So if you want to give out the bullshit argument that it's like, oh, America hates women, well, yeah, I guess that's kind of true because women can hate women. You know what I mean? It's like, it can be a self-closing loop. That's exactly what it can be. All I'm saying is that they've had the right to vote since the 20s. They've had it for about 100 years. If you haven't made one of your own president yet, I don't know what's taken so damn long. I'm going to be honest with you. You've had 2 opportunities in the last chance, and yet somehow the person who was funnier than both of them was the one that we went with. All right, that's chill. I don't think that America's sexist. I'm going to be honest with you because Hillary did win the popular vote. I just don't think that she had it. I don't know. The gods who control the Electoral College said her vibe's not right. She doesn't pass the check. She stayed with Monica Lewinsky, so too many women think that she's weak. I heard that argument so many times, by the way, from women who were like, I didn't vote for her because I didn't respect her. I didn't respect her because she stayed with Bill. All right, cool. You can sit in your imaginary boss girl world where you married the president and you were the absolute fuck you, girl. I'm gonna go out and I ain't gonna let no man treat me like that. Yep. If you want to tell yourself that fantasy to make yourself feel better, that's absolutely fine. You are married to the most popular at the time, the most well-known, the most powerful man in the world. There's not a single chance. You have your eyes on your own. You had your eyes on your own goddamn Senate run, on your own positions in government in the future. She had her plans. She didn't need to stay with him. I totally agree. Why did she? It is a different time. I totally understand why people have their complaints about Hillary Clinton. I just think that some of them are bullshit, I'm going to be honest with you. Plus, Monica Lewinsky, listen, she was bad. She was, I'm going to say it, Monica Lewinsky was attractive. Even back then, I think she was attractive, and I don't care who knows it. Monica Lewinsky was attractive. I totally see why Bill tapped that. I'm going to be honest with you. You look at her nowadays, she's snatched. She looks great. She looks wonderful, and Hillary's fucking melting. You look at Hillary Clinton, yeah, sure, she was fine when she was younger, when she had the longer hair, but then she got that butch cut, and it really, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't like her short hair era. I thought that it was too, I don't know, Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween H2O. I think that it was just, it didn't work for her. I'm sorry, it was not a vibe. Anyways. The U.S. federal government shutdown now hits its 21st day. Approval ratings edge up for Donald Trump despite voters blaming Republicans. Guys, sure, his approval rating can continue to tick up. I'm guessing it's because people are not considering the fact that this is... I don't think people are directly blaming him for this. I think that the media that he's putting out with the videos of Kristi Noem blaming Democrats for the shutdown, I think that the government websites being shut down saying that the radical left is... I think that's really getting in some people's heads. I'm not even going to lie to you. Do I think that it's propaganda? Sure, by to the furthest extent. Speaking of which, the shutdown threatens funding for early education programs such as Head Start, putting vulnerable children at risk. Head Start is an interesting thing for me. I don't remember ever going to Head Start, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember much of my early childhood. I remember going to kindergarten. That was pretty cool. But I'm going to be real with you. Kids don't need Head Start. I think that they're good. I think that kids that I've met who've gone to Head Start, they normally do. They normally are smarter. They normally have better academics, better grades, whatever. Who needs that? I think that the regular old public school system is perfectly fine. I think that the kindergarten system, that's great. Whatever, K through 12, that's all it's supposed to be. Head Start is kind of bullshit. I'm gonna be real with you. If you went to Head Start, your IQ might be 50 points higher than me, but that doesn't matter in this world. The upcoming 2025 World Series between Los Angeles Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays is kicking off soon. Guys, I don't care for either of these teams. I'm going to be honest with you. I went to a Twins game one time, and I still stand by them. I don't know who's on the team right now. Name one person. You probably don't even know. Global markets rally as prospect of U.S. China trade deal boosts sentiment. Export controls and rare earth mineral tensions loom. Guys, yes, I'm hoping we can work something out. We've been upset with Xi Jinping. I told everybody, don't invest in China right now. China's not the one to invest in. If you're going to go international, I would go with the Japanese. I trust them every time. They're the ones who make my car. And finally, for our final headline, let's go international one more time. A landmark climate finance coalition led by Brazil is calling for $1.3 trillion annually to scale up clean energy investment, even as fossil fuels still dominate projections. Clean energy. Yeah, sure. For some angles, I don't see it fully replacing our industry that we've had for not thousands, but hundreds of years. Like, listen, the whole thing where people want to burn dinosaur bone, they want to get in their Ford. They don't want to rely on some little iPhone charger stand replacing their Caseys. People like gas. People like unleaded, 8088 or whatever it's called. I don't know that I will ever be convinced into buying a fully electric car. I don't like the image. I'm sorry. The image that I'm seeing, everybody here looks at you weird. I'm going to be honest with you. The Midwest energy around the electric car is still like, the ones we see here are Tesla Cybertrucks, and they get glares. I'm not even going to lie to you. If you have a Tesla Cybertruck, now's the time to sell it. I'm sorry. People, they're like, Elon has never been less popular. Get a Tesla, but one that people can barely tell is a Tesla. But the Cybertruck, that's a walking target. That's a walking target on your back that's saying, like, listen, maybe you're not even a big fucking Republican who was big on Trump last time, but you just like Tesla and you like their message of clean energy. They don't care. They don't care. Honestly, it's just who the CEO manages to support. It's fine, whatever. He can go for clean energy all he wants. He can go for saving the planet. He can go for interplanetary travel. He can have all these grand visions for humanity. But whatever. You know what I mean? Go do another hand gesture. Anyways, folks, I'm going to be real with you. The stories of today have been pretty limited. The news is not popping off nearly as much as you would expect it to. No one's died today, which honestly, that's really good. We should celebrate that. We should celebrate the fact that there hasn't been any major movements in the trials relating to our former FBI director, James Comey. He's pleaded not guilty. There's been, they've had a few meetings, but you know how things work. Nothing ever really happens in those meetings. People hold glasses of water and look at each other while some boring guy with glasses reads off of a paper and says, we're all going to do this in like a week again. That's how most legal proceedings work, and a lot of people don't even realize it. It's fine. It's whatever. We create big buildings that we can all just sit in and like be adults together, and then we can feel like everything is way more meaningful. That's kind of how society works, and I really like it. Folks, I wanted to come at you again with another For Your Consideration segment because I've had a few of these on lock. Because quite frankly, there has not been enough news. I've been working on a few editorials here and there that I'm going to drop later this week. But quite frankly, I had one of these. It's like a revolver. I'm like, I have a bullet in the chamber. Why haven't I even spent it? This is a solid one that I've had marinating in my head for a while. Welcome to the For Your Consideration for the day, people. Here we are. Folks, I want to talk to you today about a really important type of person, a really important type of fella that I think it's prevalent, especially now more than ever. We had our big conversation yesterday about how politics nowadays, it's a trend. It is getting hotter than ever. People like the youth are getting into it because of figures like Dean Withers, because of figures like Hassan, because of these people who sit on stream all day and they rant talking points at you. There's DNC shills like Harry Sisson and shit like that. And then there is a grand world out there that is just designed to get kids into politics for the sake that it's trendy and that it looks cool when you support a Democrat or when you support a Republican. Depends on who you want to appeal to, really. That's how a lot of kids are. They want to look at which social group has the greater standing, and then they will appeal to that one because they're like, oh yeah, they model most of my views, so I'm gonna lean towards them. Whatever. They're going to buy the Kamala Harris camo hat that has Harris Waltz in blaze orange camo. Folks, I want to bring up something near and dear to my heart. Local municipalities. Yes, folks, I want to bring up how politics isn't just national, it's local. It's in your town, it's in your city, it's in your neighborhood. I get into a lot of conversations with people my age and older about politics, and I've noticed an interesting pattern in these people who have the most intense opinions about politics. You'll talk to these people and they'll say some hot take about Trump or Kamala, but then you say, oh, that Tim Mahoney, right? And they look at you like they've seen the ghost of Stonewall Jackson. Here's a good reminder. If someone around you is telling you any of their feelings about politics, but cannot name a single person sitting in their local government, feel free to disregard everything that they have to say. Folks, this is an epidemic. I'm talking to too many people my age who need to be acting as proper citizens of their towns, who seem to be all concerned with the practicing of democracy and the importance of your vote, but who couldn't tell you who the local sheriff is if they had a gun to their heads. Police chief? Anyone? It's Dave Zibolski. It's David Zibolski. of Fargo. If I've lived in Fargo not long enough to vote in the elections here, and I know your local rulers and you don't, how am I supposed to take anything you say seriously? You get your opinions from the internet. Folks, local elections matter. Local leaders matter. For some odd reason, you'll catch these people going to No Kings rallies for photo ops, but you would never catch them dead at a town hall meeting. Politics are hotter than ever. AOC proves that alone. She's the bartender who will let you do a belly shot and then steals your money for another tax the rich dress. Now more than ever, the space is being flooded by the human version of brain rot. Chronically online weirdos who should just maybe they should just get into the James Gunn DCU or something, because their penchant for cosplaying and being silly, it could service that world 10 times better. We don't need inflatable frogs at protests. We don't need unicorns. We don't need Gen Z to turn everything into the amazing world of Gumball. Why can't you take yourself seriously? How can you expect anyone else to? Let alone Trump. If you want him to listen to you, you have to take yourself seriously. And sadly, people, especially nowadays, for some reason can't take anything seriously. My point here is this. Before you throw out another warning about democracy falling away, before you want to panic some other heart to make your own feel better, how about you learn a thing or two about your local elections? I promise you, they're more secure than MSNBC wants you to think. Republicans continue to kick our asses because the Democrats' instinct to loss is to lick wounds. It's to go, I'm not president, don't bitch at me. No, loser, you ran a shit campaign and didn't prep a speech once. You lost the election, girly, not us. Stop lying. This was not the closest election in recent American history. That's a bullshit line that every Kamala supporter here in this country will tell you. Even if they were alive for Bush v. Gore, they'll just memory hole that entire Supreme Court ruling, the recounts, everything. Fuck Al Gore. He wasn't the closest in recent history. He didn't even lose every single swing state and the popular vote like this snatch did. Folks, drop Joy Behar. Drop Sunny Hostin. She's a lawyer who knows little to nothing about the law. And just like Republicans, she will bend it to suit her agenda. That's fine. The View has done more for Trump, more than Trump ever has to set women back. I'm going to be honest with you. Of all the bright women I've ever met or seen in this world, none of them are on The View. My lesson here is this. Invest in localities. The world wants you to go global. That's bullshit. And it only solves the problems of the rich people that pass the money around. Care for your family, care for your community, and care for your home. Good and kind politics will grow out from there. And we have to stop the blame game. If we ever want to win any decent election, we have to stop embracing these sore losers. These sore losers who want to go and write a book about how everybody else made a mistake and they were clean as a whistle. I'm sorry, but if the Democratic Party chooses Kamala Harris as their candidate for 2028, we are going to lose. Not only are we going to lose every single swing state, we will lose even more. There is not a chance that they can make this woman marketable. There is not a chance. She is kryptonite. She is poison. She has proven it before and she will prove it again. I voted for her last time. I had full faith in the idea that maybe she could pull it off. Maybe she could do it. And she didn't. She failed us. She failed you. She failed everybody. She failed. We didn't fail her. We turned out. We did our part. We did what we were told to do, and she failed. And if we choose her again, if we don't learn our fucking lesson this time, if we do not learn our lesson and we get behind somebody who can speak decent, a Bill Clinton type figure, I don't care if it's a woman, I don't care what color they are. If they can speak decent, throw them on the ticket. If they are a better person at word salading, if they're a better, more decent speaker than her, yeah, decent. Do it. Fuck it. Tulsi Gabbard. Why not? She was left-leaning until you pushed her out of the party. This is not an exaggeration. And if you cannot say these things honestly, I'm sorry, you're not ready to have an adult conversation about politics. People can be pushed out of the party, especially when the party refuses to condemn crazy ideas. Folks, these people will rant at you about how it's the end of democracy. They'll rant to you about how they're not sure that people won't be looped up into camps. These are fear-mongerers. These are the exact people that she appealed to, and they're the exact people that will put her on the ticket unless we start speaking up. Unless we start talking about how all of her chirping is bullshit. All of the chirping about the idea that the reason we lost is because of sexism, racism, but the other isms. That's bullshit. Have to take some goddamn personal responsibility. Our image wasn't clean enough. Our message was not appealing enough. That's just how it was. And by the way, it's crazy to hear my party, it's crazy to hear people of a left-leaning volition rant about how democracy is on the ballot this year and how it is our responsibility to protect the democracy. And then when people actually do practice it, when they practice it in a landslide, suddenly a democracy is lost. Suddenly it's over. Suddenly Hitler was elected, guys. I know one thing about history, and that's that the Weimar Republic elected the Nazi Party, that the Nazi Party actually was the one that was elected. Hitler himself was not on the ballot, and he was appointed by his administrators. And if you would know that if you knew anything about history and you didn't just take talking points from Rachel Maddow. When someone is able to talk intelligently about their local municipalities, then you know that they are an adult enough human being to talk about anything national. But before that, they are teenagers, they are hippies, they are children putting on the mask of adulthood in order to sit at the adult table. That's all it is, and that's all it ever will be. So I'm sorry to break it. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, ladies and gentlemen. Politics is not a trend. It's not a fun little brat summer hoodie that you can throw on. It's not fake virtue signaling. It's not sitting around, posting black squares to fix racism. We got to work on our image, folks. And once we start cleaning that up, I don't know, maybe we can get somewhere. But you know what? I don't want to waste any more of your time, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's enough of the beautiful Tuesday energy. Folks, that was the For Your Consideration for this segment. I appreciate you listening today. I appreciate you being here. This was a wonderful time. I hope that you had a great time. I had a great time. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. We'll be back at it again tomorrow, Wednesday. Subscribe if you liked it. I appreciate it. Throw a like on it if you enjoyed it. This has been your Brain on Air with Ollie Vogt Larson. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.